Coming up on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, the QB competition heats up during the last week of OTAs, right ahead of minicamp. So I'm going to be breaking down what Drake Maye has been doing as he's now stepping up in his QB reps and what offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt has to say not only about Drake Maye, but Joe Milton. I know a lot of you guys have been in the comment section saying, where's Joe Milton? What's Milton been doing? Why did they draft Joe Milton after Drake Maye? So on the back half of this show, you guys are going to want to stick around because I'm going to tell you what, I have a newfound love and appreciation for QB Joe Milton. So before that happens, I ask you guys to do one thing. Turn on your notifications. If you want the latest news and rumors surrounding your New England Patriots, I highly suggest turning on that little bell. And I promise I'm not going to spam you. I don't even control it. All you do by hitting that notification button is you get alerted when we post a video. And I want you guys to be able to come join us 12,000 strong, as only 1,700 of you have your notifications on right now. All right, Van Pelt did update on Maye and Milton's development in the QB room. Of course, you know Jacoby Brissett has been running at QB1, which we did expect to see. However, now the conversation has been, where does Drake Maye fit in with Bailey Zappe? And more importantly, is Joe Milton in this quarterback competition? So here's what Van Pelt had to say about the QB competition. He said, it's a marathon over a sprint. You can't throw a guy out there and expect him to succeed right away, especially when you've got 2 rookies and 2 vets. Of course, you're going to have to use the OTAs to really break down the fundamentals, the techniques, and the X's and O's, which is why I'm really focusing on those 2 rookies here during the OTA. So Van Pelt said, the QBs are working upwards of 12 to 14 hours a day. This is no longer college ball. You don't have an 8 a.m. You don't have a Friday class. This is full-blown your job now. So Van Pelt is welcoming them the only way he knows how, by working their ass off during the off season, which personally I love. And what else that Van Pelt had to say here was that Jacoby Brissett and Drake Maye are actually working a lot together outside of the books, outside of the meetings, which is very much giving me that rookie and that vet relationship that Jacoby Brissett has talked about very recently. But Van Pelt did go on to say the starting QB timeline is still unknown, as it should be, guys. It's June 4th. As of right now, Jacoby Brissett is QB1. He said other factors will play in the closer they get to the regular season, but Jacoby Brissett should be taking the most reps here because he has the most experience. He was drafted from New England. Of course, he's played for other organizations as well. So when week 1 comes around, I'm not going to be surprised if Jacoby Brissett is in the backfield to start for the Patriots. But Drake Maye, how has he been excelling? How has he been improving here during the OTAs? Alex Van Pelt did say this ahead of today's practice, saying he's been impressive. He comes out taking everything from the classroom, everything from our individual periods, and he's applying it to the team drills. The biggest things we're working on right now is calling plays from the huddle, which is new to a lot of these college guys, and then just playing in rhythm and in time with your feet. And that's the biggest strides I've seen him make in the past few weeks. Now, if you do notch down a couple of Drake Maye critiques ahead of the NFL draft, footwork was one of the main things. We know he's got a cannon of an arm. We know that he was labeled as a prototypical quarterback type. And from what Alex Van Pelt just said, that's exactly what I'm getting. He is an X's and O, football-minded type of QB, which I have no problem with. And the fact that they're really just taking this as small fundamentals like calling plays in the huddles and your footwork is going to pay off in the long run. But here's where Drake Maye made a little bit of a stride during the final week of the OTAs. He actually jumped ahead of Bailey Zappe when it came to QB reps. He was QB2 today, directly behind Jacoby Brissett. And in my last video on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, I did talk about how I think Drake Maye should be taking more reps than Bailey Zappe, because you've seen what Zappe can do. You're here to evaluate your most recent draft pick. Well, here's what he had to say about taking QB2 reps, and this is what I love about that prototypical QB mindset. He said, I think it's a battle. Me, Jacoby, Bailey, we're battling. They're mixing up who goes with who each day, and it's not necessarily, hey, you're going first, you're going second. We know Jacoby's getting first, and from there, it's just playing it by ear. It's just a matter of how you do when you're in there. So in Drake Maye's mind, I'm guessing this is very much I don't care if I'm QB2, I don't care if I'm QB17. I just want to be able to perform at the best way I possibly can when I'm in that backfield. And from what we saw today in OTAs, the go routes, the absolute dime pieces, showcasing his cannon. He did have one interception, but he was making the most out of his reps here with QB2. And when you look at those reps on 7-on-7, which he did have the least amount of reps during week 2 of OTAs, he has now moved up to number 2 here. Brissett, 6 of 9. Maye, 3 of 4. Zappe, 2 of 4. And you see Milton coming in here, 1 of 4 as well when it comes to those QB reps on 7-on-7. But we do know Milton did not take any reps when it came to 11-on-11s. This is what Brissett did, 3 of 10 with 4 sacks, which we know Barmore was really big on sacking Brissett earlier today. Maye did have 2 interceptions and 1 sack, which is a little tough. Of course, Duggar did have one of those interceptions, and then Zappe, 2 of 4. So, with that being said, now knowing that Maye is beating out Zappe in 11s and 7s in terms of reps, and I get it, it's just OTAs, but go ahead and pick a QB2 for me that you want to see running with more reps than the other guy for the rest of OTAs, for the rest of minicamps. Who's the player you think should be behind Brissett right now? Type BZ for Bailey Zappe, type DM for Drake Maye. But coming up, I'm going to break down Joe Milton, just like I told you at the beginning of this show, and is he even a contender in this quarterback competition? But first things first, I want to make sure you guys have the best gift to give away on Father's Day. It is in a few weeks away, and let me tell you, this polo is great for golfing. It's great for a casual barbecue, great for a nice night out in Boston. I think this polo is stunning. Heck, I might even get it for my boyfriend. No, he's not a father, but it could be for any man in your life. Patriots Polo is now 25% off when you use chatsports.com/PatsPolo. Look, I love a guy in a polo. I think it's classy. I think it looks great, especially with the white. Doesn't show those sweat stains, because I get it. It can be hot up north in the summer. So I want you guys to have the best deal. And like I said, I never, ever buy anything full price. It's my MO. So 25% off. Girl math, it's pretty much free. Just go to chatsports.com/PatsPolo, and you guys can get 25% off this beautiful polo, which you can actually wear on the 4th of July as well. Patriots colors goes hand in hand with the patriotic holiday. So 25% off. That's all you guys need to know. But the link, don't worry about memorizing it. It'll be linked under this video once it is published. Go ahead and click it. Takes you to the Fanatics website, and that's you're going to get 25% off. chatsports.com/PatsPolo. All right, let's talk about Joe Milton III here, shall we? Because the number one thing he was going to do coming into any organization was showcase his arm. That's what he's been known for. And it is no secret this guy has an absolute cannon. What we saw from OTAs today, I saw it on Twitter from all the reporters putting out those videos, and it's not just go routes. Of course, when I think of a cannon of an arm, I want to see how far he can throw it, how deep he can throw it, and the accuracy to hit that moving receiver. But it wasn't just the go routes. It wasn't just the deep balls. It was the laser beams, the darts, and the quick slants as well, hitting those wideouts. It was an absolute dime of a laser pass. So when I talk about a cannon of an arm, you're immediately going to think just somebody that can chuck it 60 yards upfield, and it's going to be beautiful. But I also want to talk about that strength that he has when it comes to getting the first down, when it comes to getting those 10-yard go routes, which I do think is going to help Joe Milton in this QB race. Here's what he had to say about his arm strength. I can throw the ball pretty far. It's what people know me for. A lot of people call me Bazooka Joe, and I don't like that. I wouldn't prefer that because bazookas only go so far. This is what he said on the TikTok as he was giving a jewelry rundown. He's got a nice rocket on his necklace, and he said, I'd prefer something with a rocket because they can go a lot farther. Talk about the confidence on this kid. Holy cow. Bazookas only go so far. Not to mention he's working up to passing 100 yards. Not that he'll ever really have to do that in a game, but it's a cool little asset there that he has thrown the farthest pass of the Patriots since signing 60 yards. This guy has a freaking cannon, which is why they ended up drafting not just one quarterback in Drake Maye, but 2 with Milton, because they said in the front office his skills were so good you couldn't pass up when you got him on the 3rd day. And of course, OC Alex Van Pelt did not just comment on Drake Maye, he commented on Joe Milton as well, and he said, Joe's been excellent. Joe's a very talented passer. He can do some impressive things with his legs as well as his arm. he comes on strong. And anybody who's ever played baseball or softball knows, yes, your arm strength matters, but it's what's in the legs. It's what's in the legs when you drive. And I do think that does translate really well to when you're going to be a quarterback. A lot of it is arm strength, probably 70%, but you got to have that base in those legs as well. And when you have NFL scouts comparing Joe Milton to a Jordan Love type, which in my head gives me kind of the sense that, hey, coming out of college, he's got a cannon of an arm, but maybe just needs to work on that accuracy a little bit because, of course, when you got Chapman for the Yankees that can throw 105 miles per hour, you want to know how good he hits that strike zone. That's what you want to really focus on here with Milton because if he has a cannon of an arm, it's only going to matter how far he can throw it if he can hit his receiver. But overall, from what I've seen from Milton, keep in mind he was not at the last open OTAs, which there was an unknown reason as to why. So, of course, when he came back today, he addressed the media, he talked about his position, and I personally, hence Barefoot's take, think that Milton won't beat out Brissett or May. I don't think that's why they drafted him. I don't think he's in the QB competition to be QB1. I think he's in the QB competition to be QB3, to be that emergency quarterback, to be signed to the practice squad, and ultimately, I think he can beat out Bailey Zappe to stay with the New England Patriots. I could see the Patriots cutting or trading Bailey Zappe, which then would make room for somebody like Milton. He could be the future of that depth chart, and if you really want to compare him to Jordan Love, there is no Aaron Rodgers on the Patriots right now where he can develop for the next couple of years. But I do think he can sit maybe 1 year behind Drake Maye and Jacoby Brissett and really be an asset for the Patriots moving forward. By the way, Milton's been a Patriots fan since he was 8 years old. He said, it's funny I got drafted by the Patriots. I wasn't expecting it. But my mom's boyfriend was a Patriots fan, so I've been watching him since I was 8. He loves the Patriots. So if you guys are not on the Joe Milton wave, now is the time. That's why I love the kid. All right, so with that being said, do you think Milton should get more reps than Zappe? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Like I said, we've seen what Bailey Zappe can do. Do you guys want to see more from Joe Milton moving into minicamp next week? Type Y for yes, type N for no. And as always, hit that sub button for me.